Right. Welcome everybody to the Centbee Show. How does it go again? Hello everybody. That's what it does, okay. Yes. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Centbee Show. I'm your host, Lorien Gamaroff. And my co-host is the eternal Kage Ntshingila. Kage, welcome to the show.
So, Mr.
How are you doing?
I'm fresh, man. Actually, I'm only now I'm starting to feel like myself, back to regular schedule,
Yeah.
Because the traveling was a little bit, it was dismantling.
It is.
But for you still had a trip to Kenya?
Yes, that's right. I just got back from Kenya, from the Kenya Blockchain and Crypto Conference.
But how do those words actually, it's like an oxymoron.
Yes, well, I guess we'll get into it. But of course, this whole idea around crypto and blockchain, crypto has got a bad vibe about it.
Yeah.
And it was surprising to see how the Kenya Blockchain organization, or whatever it was that put that conference together, included the word crypto.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to talk about it, and the trip, but there, Nairobi, it was really great to be there. I guess we'll cover that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's actually cool, to see you back. You're still in fresh energies. Because when you came back from, was it Abuja?
From Lagos.
From Lagos, actually, yeah.
Yes, I think it was because we did the London blockchain,
It was back
and
to
that was
back.
huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we just ran off our feet for a week.
Yeah.
And then straight to Lagos, had to do the Reg Tech conference. Couple days in South Africa, and then in Kenya, a couple days there, back here, back in the studio. I think Kenya is just such a fun, exciting country when it comes to blockchain that I got reinvigorated.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of people use mobile money there, and it's just so great to see how the potential for blockchain is enormous in the country, if only they can get the right notion of what it's all about.
Yeah.
But before we continue that, I just want to point out to the viewers our amazing background here. Yeah. Now, we've been saying for I don't know how many episodes we want to get a sign, but this was just from our booth in London, and we brought it back, and it just looks so beautiful that it's a shame to go and box it up somewhere and bring it out on special occasions. So
it would be a damn shame, mate.
yeah, so everybody just take a gander at Kage's beautiful artwork here. This was our booth. We obviously are very interested in focusing on the youth market, teenagers and students. And Kage, I think you just nail it with this color and vibrant stuff, and it really just jumps out at you. It's so exciting and really does represent Centbee's approach to this whole thing, bringing mobile payments to young audiences. So I'm very happy that we have this back here.
Yeah, Ms. G. I mean, this is pretty cool. I mean, like we always say, our target audience is pretty, diverse and young. So it's important for us to appeal in that way, So I think this, like you're saying, this actually nailed it,
Yeah.
And
with our B-babes.
And it's more like you're saying, our brand is, I guess it's more even the colors. They work for us to just bring that popping image.
Yes, and we've even got great shirts. These are the shirts that KG made for us. So we want to make this merch available. We've got hats and stuff, and I hope you're not going to stop making designs for Centbee.
No way.
But we definitely need to get these into our online store, so you better start working on that, because we do get a lot of requests. People want Centbee merch.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's really fun and vibrant, and it's not just boring corporate stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy about this cool merch.
Yeah, but for me, Ms. G, the important part about what we are doing is not only just bringing a cool element to the BSV space, but more just making it appeal better to just an ordinary person in the street, because like you're saying, most brands are corporate and they are too rigid in terms of appealing to, just normal people.
Yep, exactly. So I guess before we launch into the whole Kenya trip and the potential in Kenya for blockchain payments, I just want to touch on one of the features of Centbee. We have a wallet that's got a lot of features there. And unless you've gone through it intensively or you've watched the show, sometimes those features are hidden.
Yeah.
So just to touch on one of our features, which are the payment requests. It's very important when you make payments, when you want to receive payments, to be able to easily send a request to somebody instead of just messaging them and saying, hey, you owe me some money. it's really great sometimes to be able to send a payment request with maybe an invoice number or a memo or description. And Centbee does that really well.
Yeah.
So one of the important big fat buttons on the front of the home screen is the receive button.
Yeah.
And if you tap that, you'll see your QR code, which is handy if you want to be able to let somebody scan your QR code.
Yeah.
Also, you have the ability to put in an amount.
A specific amount, yeah.
Yeah, so if you owe me an amount, and that's great for point of sale.
Def.
So if you're a merchant.
Yeah, I mean, it will make it easy, like for someone to easily just set their amount there and then you just scan. Like maybe for an item that you're purchasing.
That's right.
Like you're saying at a flea market,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a practical usage.
Or here in Africa, you get a lot of informal traders, hawkers, guys in little what are called spaza shops. They don't have a point of sale from a bank or something. They're receiving cash, but to be able to just have on your mobile phone a point of sale through Centbee is just so easy. And of course, it's cash, digital cash. Yeah. So it's not the kind of payment that when you receive it, there could be a charge back, like in credit cards or a reversal. Yeah. Once you've received the payment, because it's digital cash, you've received the payment. There's no reversing that payment. So it's a very reliable way, secure way to receive payments without having to worry about later on down the line, the customer saying, well, I didn't make that payment, like in a credit card, and they go and do a chargeback. So this is the cool thing about Centbee. It allows you to have a point of sale, if you like. You can specify an amount, specify a memo. Yeah. You can send that to a Centbee contact, so you don't have to be physically next to a person. Yeah. And then they can get this payment request in their Centbee wallet and with a description. And of course, then they can decide whether or not to pay that payment request. So check out the payment request options as well. It's in the receive screen, and it allows you to link to your contacts, send them payment requests, or just right in person, be able to scan a QR code with an amount and a memo. And it's a really great way to accept payments.
Yeah, man. Ms. G, as we step into our second segment, man, I'd like us to expand more on the Kenya Blockchain and Crypto Conference.
Yes.
What was going down there?
Okay, so this is now an annual event that happens in Kenya, Nairobi. Mm-hmm. It's a blockchain conference, and this was the second edition. So this is the second time they've run it. Mm-hmm. And the idea there, of course, just with all blockchain conferences, is really to try and explore the potential for blockchain. The theme of this conference was the role of blockchain in shaping Africa's economic landscape. Okay. So, of course, there's been a lot of hype around blockchain, and especially in Africa. Yeah. A lot of people for decades, I mean, just since the beginning of Bitcoin, people said, well, Bitcoin is going to be something that rises in Africa because people are used to mobile money. The cost of cross-border transactions is so high. And so the attendees that were there, many of them were interested in tokenization and stable coins. A lot of the speakers talked about the social impacts that they were trying to make with blockchain. They had certain financial products that were in what they were using was the word DeFi, decentralized finance, which is a word almost as bad as the word crypto. Yeah. But anyway, we can get into that. Yeah. And so that's what the idea is that there's been so much hype around blockchain, bringing benefits to people, making finance more democratized, accessible. There's this idea of tokenizing assets, stable coins, so that we don't have to worry about the volatility of crypto, and AI, of course, that was a big theme as well. Oh, yeah. So this was the conference. It was all around blockchain and how it can empower Africans and drive economic development in the continent. And so it was a great conference, and I'm really pleased to be able to attend these conferences because you get a sense of the startup environment. There were lots of startups there. Nice. So it was nice to be able to see who's doing what and what are they focused on, and also what are the needs. Yeah. And Kenya is a very cool country, as I said before, because of its mobile money sense. People just use mobile money normally. I mean,
it's a norm,
that's how it is. Yeah. When I was there, it was difficult. I didn't have an M-Pesa wallet, so I had to go and find ATMs for cash. Cards could hardly work anywhere.
I'm sure it was hard.
So it was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the whole vibe, was that it was trying to see how can we get blockchain to drive economic empowerment and development in Africa.
Yeah.
And as I said, there were startups, there were regulators there were lawyers there were some companies that were represented. So it was a nice mix of the Africa blockchain landscape. And it was great to be able to present there and talk about blockchain and Centbee's vision for that, and also see the potential for Centbee.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I appreciate it, like when such conferences have, people like regulators as, audience. And it for me, it brings a bit of light that, at least they're trying to understand the space. But the confusing part now is the usage of the word crypto as part of this conference.
Yes.
Because you mentioned everything that's regarding the blockchain. It is about advancing, developing, and making people's lives more easier. But when we talk in crypto, that's like totally contrary.
It is. And viewers of the show will know that when we talk about blockchain, we're not talking about an encrypted system that is ungovernable and unstoppable and unconfiscatable. These are all words that the crypto community use because they are still fixated on this idea that blockchain can only be useful and valuable if it is ungovernable. In other words, if governments and regulators and law enforcement can't come and stick their fingers in and mess with things. This is the misconception that has been baked into Bitcoin and blockchain now for a decade. And what is sad to see is how all these bright-eyed entrepreneurs who see that there's value in blockchain, they can't separate themselves from the crypto mindset because they believe that this is what it is all about. They've been miseducated for 10 years by guys like Andreas Antonopoulos, all of those guys who constantly give this idea that the decentralized aspect is so that it can be uncontrollable. And so now when you come to a conference like this as an entrepreneur and you want to explain other things, you want to say, well, it's great, you can now do supply chains, or you can do land registry, you can tokenize real estate, you can do financial products for people who are financially excluded. It then gets to the point where they have to answer the question, what about regulation? And they have to admit and acknowledge that, well, because it's crypto, guess what? There isn't any regulation. It's by definition unregulated because for them, the decentralization means that there is no way for you to come in and apply some kind of governance to these things. So and now when they're talking to these regulators, when they're pitching to investors, because there were investors there, they come up with all these great ideas. And it sounds amazing, and you can see these entrepreneurs really want to solve these problems. They're not interested in the ungovernable nature of blockchain. They just want to use blockchain to be able to solve problems for their local communities or their country, people in the country. And yet they have to face the question, what about crypto? And all they can do is say, well, yes, that's one of the features of blockchain is that it's crypto and it's anonymous and it's encrypted and it's all these things. And it completely undermines their whole approach, their whole strategy and their goals. Because how could a regulator or even an investor say, I like your idea, I think you're a great person for this, you look skilled and passionate and have seen a great opportunity here, but the fact that it's an unregulated thing, and in fact more than unregulated, it's going all the way to become an unregulated thing. How can we buy into this?
Unless if it's the mafia.
Unless it's exactly. But an investor is not in the mafia. They want to put money, and it's a risk for them. They want to make sure there's not going to be any complications down the line. And then, of course, regulators. There has to be a regulatory environment for these businesses to operate. Now, Centbee we've applied for a license. We do all the right checks, anti-money laundering, but that's because we use BSV blockchain. And BSV blockchain is all about regulation. As I said in the talk that I gave at the RegTech conference in Lagos,
Yeah.
the theme of that talk was that blockchain and Bitcoin BSV was built for regulation. It's a regulation tool.
Yeah.
That's actually what blockchain is.
It
It's
is.
a way to regulate the system.
It really is. I mean, look at all the attributes. I mean, it's immutable,
Transparent,
it's
traceable.
Exactly. So definitely, like, if I was, a decision maker, I would definitely consider it as a tool to be used in this space because, like you're saying, it checks all the boxes, man.
Yes, it checks all the boxes so that regulators can look at it and say, yes, this is a compliant system.
Yeah.
And so an investor can come in and say, great, I can see that you guys are checking all the right boxes. These are your obligations. You've got to know your customer. You have to do anti-money laundering checks. You have to check for terrorist financing. You have to do all these reports. And because you're doing that, it means that my investment is not at risk.
Yeah.
So this whole idea of crypto has been a cancer.
It really has been.
That's the best word for it.
It has been.
Crypto is a cancer on blockchain, undermining it, stealing its potential, and by focusing on this disease that any regulator or any serious businessman, I mean, think about partnerships. Centbee has to partner with businesses so that we can provide the services we do. If they see us as a risk because we are non-compliant, they're not going to partner with us.
Yeah.
So the idea of having the word crypto in the title of this conference already is going to eliminate a whole lot of people who are excited about the potential of blockchain, but want to avoid the crypto nonsense, because that is just going to lead them to problems down the line when they're trying to go for licenses or just find partnerships. And then, of course, DeFi, decentralized finance, is just an extension of crypto, where it's saying we can create a financial service product that has no accountable institution. There's no key individual, in other words, a person that a regulator can come after if there's problems. They don't know who their customers are. There's no anti-money laundering checks. There's no suspicious transaction reporting. So DeFi is trying to now take crypto and turn it into a financial services product. So I met with a woman, her organization was called the Women in DeFi. And I said to her, and I hope she's watching this, that she should drop the word DeFi, because her goals are good and the projects she's involved in are great, and the community that she has around her, she's trying to enable women and try and make things possible for people that have been excluded financially. So all those things are incredible. She's doing wonderful things. But she has taken that word DeFi and basically delegitimized what she's trying to do. So, of course, when it comes to these words, people who are passionate about the space love those words because they're the words that identify you with this whole movement, this blockchain movement.
Mr. G, words are very powerful. Like we can see why certain words have been consistent in the crypto space versus, the BSV at large, the community that's trying to grow the technology.
Yeah, exactly. So, I suggested to her she should rename it to Block Babes or something like that, and she was kind of...
That even sounds...
Well, it's... I mean, we love creative stuff. And so by doing something like that, she will free herself from the crypto connotation and also will be able to stop thinking in terms of creating a financial system or financial services product that is inherently ungovernable. This is what is holding back blockchain development. And the conference was full of this. All these entrepreneurs talking about these cool ideas that they can apply to blockchain, stuff that we've talked about on the show so often. And they can't get it out of the gate because they are held back by the crypto disease. This was something that struck me there. I wasn't intending when I got to the conference to focus on this word, but it just became so necessary to me to be able to just try and put the record straight. There was a very famous startup CEO, a guy called Ray Youssef. He also came in and gave this whole crypto talk, which I guess we can also talk about. But I felt like I had to counter that.
But you countering that was more based on the BSV facts, what the blockchain can sort of provide as a solution. Yes. So it's not also, you coming in personal attacks, but it's also you attacking certain ideologies, that are counterproductive to the community. So yeah, Ms. G, I mean, you spoke of Ray. You say he sounds like a crypto enthusiast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what was his messaging? Because you say you had to counter it.
Yes. Now, Ray Youssef is very well known. He had a peer-to-peer trading company called Paxful, and it grew very strongly in places like Nigeria. He's got also a strong Africa focus. He talks about the global south. Yeah. And he is a crypto enthusiast. I guess that's the nicest way we can put it.
Yeah.
He has totally bought into this whole idea about freedom and government tyranny and how Bitcoin and crypto is supposed to save us from this tyranny. He's a complete proponent of this idea of decentralization being a tool to stop governments from meddling. Yeah. But he's so drunk on that Kool-Aid, and of course, it inspires a lot of people. Yeah. So when he came on and gave his keynote, the whole keynote was about these things, about how this financial system is broken and how we need to free ourselves, and Africa needs to free itself from this broken financial system that's controlled and regulated by evil central bankers and all that sort of thing. That whole crypto stuff. And he's so arrogant because, of course, being a crypto, if you have a business in crypto and you want to make a lot of money, and I'm not talking about legitimate money, but this is what is big in crypto, is creating ways for people to exchange crypto. Yeah. Because it's just such an easy business. Everybody wants to get into crypto. Everybody wants to trade cryptos. And so all the biggest businesses that exist today in crypto are exchanges. Yeah. They're all making money. And of course, they're all unregulated. And so when people get involved in these businesses, it's very easy to make a lot of money. Yeah. And so Ray has been fortunate that because he's just tapped into that crypto trading mindset of people, and the space is so full of people wanting to trade cryptos, he's been able to support the business and without having to raise investor funding. I don't even know if he has a board of directors. It doesn't sound like it, because the things he says, I would imagine any board would be a little bit, just tone it down, Ray. Yeah. Even so much, that he's so arrogant that there'll be regulators, and there were regulators in the front row, and he will just make fun of them. He just thinks he's untouchable because his business is making money. He's suckering in a whole bunch of people who just want to make money. Yeah. Of course, he will go on about the remittance aspect. He'll talk about how crypto is great for cross-border remittances. But all he really wants is people to trade cryptos. Yeah. So he's such a bad example of this whole thing. In fact, maybe he's a good example of the crypto mindset, where he will talk about the broken system, and he'll talk about how we are slaves and all this sort of thing. And it'll really get the audience riled up, and they'll get excited. And it feels very cultish. In fact, any crypto conference is like a cult.
It is, Mr. G, because you can always check their energy. You know, they have this enthusiastic sense of being that, the room must light up.
Yes.
They have
part of the secret club of people who've seen the light. Yeah. They're not the stupid no-coiners.
Exclusive.
They've got laser eyes.
You know what I'm saying? And when we speak of, the real change when it comes to the BSV blockchain, it's inclusive of everyone.
Yes.
It's not a cultish mindset like join the cool boys club and then you can be one of us type of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. So, after that talk of his, I just thought, this is it. We have to face this, and I have to go up there and I have to explain to people that this is not what this is about.
You had to.
And that talk will come online, and I'll certainly we'll find that and make that available.
I guess it was important for him to also be there, just to set the distinction of the tone,
Right.
Yeah.
And, when I started the talk, I said to people there, because I could see that this is what they are excited about, this crypto thing. And my introduction to my talk was, I said, this is going to make some of you uncomfortable. I wanted to say that they are all misled. They have been miseducated. They don't understand the value of blockchain. Yeah. I even said that the organizers should drop the word crypto out of that out of the title of that conference.
They should.
Because it's alienating people. It's making sure that sensible people don't want to get involved when it comes to blockchain.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the next year's conference, which we'll certainly be at, so all our Kenyan users and viewers and friends that we have there, we'll certainly be back in Nairobi next year for the conference, and we'll sponsor it. We'll maybe even get the Bitcoin Association to come as well.
I think that would be like a win.
Yeah.
Because we have the London Blockchain Conference, and it's a global event. Everyone is there, but just to maybe turn the focus a bit on Africa a bit.
Yes.
I think like the Kenya blockchain conference should be like at least that starting point if they could drop the crypto word.
Yes, exactly. We'll have to go there and get some more merch out into the crowds there.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you though.
Yeah. Well, this is what happened, and this was the conference. This is what it was about. Now so that was very exciting to be there, and I felt like I did a good job because so many people came after my talk and said, wow, they never heard of such a thing, that blockchain wasn't meant to be unregulated. They didn't realize that, and I spoke about proof of work, and I said the reason why there is proof of work and why miners have to grow so large is because they become accountable to law enforcement. And that's what secures the blockchain, that accountability, them behaving honestly so they don't get arrested and all their equipment taken away. That was the reason why proof of work was implemented into Bitcoin. That blew their minds.
Imagine.
Also, this idea that not only was Bitcoin meant to be traceable and all that, but government and law enforcement can seize funds on Bitcoin. That's what Satoshi wanted. He created a system that if government felt the need to freeze funds from terrorists or seize that money from drug dealers or money launderers, that they could go and do that. That is built into Bitcoin.
I'm sure that got the regulators excited.
Gets them excited, but it also just blew the minds of most of the people there who had never heard such a thing. So really, I think this, just to sum this up, when you go to a conference like this, and it breaks your heart because you can see how everybody's so excited about blockchain and the potential that it has, but they've got this dog that they're dragging along, this flea-bitten thing that is foaming at the mouth, that nobody wants to go near, that's rabid and will bite you, crypto, and they can't get rid of it because they've been so miseducated by all these influencers, all these cryptards out there talking about unstoppable stuff. They feel invincible. And yet this is the biggest problem with these startups, is crypto is their worst enemy, and they don't understand this, that there is a complete separation. So this is how this is what we did. This is what I went there and did, and I achieved this. Spoke to a lot of people. A lot of them came afterwards to me and they said, wow, they couldn't believe it, that they've never heard of such a thing.
Imagine.
So I really feel like it made a great impact in Kenya with all these blockchain startups. You've always got to be a little bit sensitive to people who have their favorite cryptos, but I did ask the question and I did raise it, and I said, well, it's the original Bitcoin protocol that is the one that you should be focusing on. We don't need multiple blockchains. That was another thing that I mentioned. We are certainly looking at a single blockchain world. Yes, it remains to be seen who's going to win that fight, but just given the nature of Bitcoin, the way it was created by Satoshi, this immutable, regulatory compliant payment protocol, plus now what we see with Terranode, how we are managing to see a massive scale. Right now, my money is on BSV. So I asked the question, I said, who knows what the original Bitcoin protocol is here? And of course, people were silent, and I just said, Satoshi's vision, BSV. There were a couple of hecklers in the back there, and they were shouting about BTC. But of course, it's undeniable when you talk about protocol. BTC is not the original protocol.
It's not.
Segregated witness fundamentally changed how Bitcoin works. Remember, in the white paper, it says Bitcoin is defined as a chain of digital signatures. I mean, that is the sentence that says, what is Bitcoin? It's a chain of digital signatures. Well, BTC, what did you guys do? You removed the signatures. So guess what? BTC is not a chain of digital signatures. So find in your own white paper. You can take the Bitcoin white paper You can edit out all the stuff you don't like that doesn't apply anymore.
Like honesty, and stuff, and transparency. They should actually scratch that out.
Scratch it out, scratch out this, and then of course replace by fee. Where you can rebroadcast transactions. I mean, that's totally not part of what
the
Bitcoin
Lightning
is.
Network. There's just a lot happening that side.
Lightning Network, which is clearly breaking the traceability of Bitcoin. I mean, one of the most important regulatory things around payments is traceability. You've got to be able to trace where money went.
Definitely.
If your system doesn't do that, I can assure you, government is going to shut you down.
That's a broken system, bro.
Broken, illegal. You're going to get arrested if you are.
Sounds like a black market, like money just moves and nobody knows where it's going.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that was the gist of it. That's what I went to achieve, and I managed to achieve that. Made some great friends there, great connections. Thanks, everybody. If you're from the Kenya blockchain and I saw you there, I really had such a great time. And, also the thing about African conferences, I love them more than any other kind of conference. Africa's just got so much soul. And it's the only time, and this happened in Lagos as well, where the MCs will get the entire delegation and audience to get up and dance.
Imagine. That's so cool.
So, of course, there was that vibe.
That's awesome. That's an African vibe.
That's African vibe. You go to the Western conferences, it's all straight, formal.
Suit and tie.
Individuals. Africa is about community and social. So, so I really had a great time.
No, that's cool, Ms. G. I mean, that sounds like a very dope experience. I mean, shout out to you also for representing the community, also putting some light, So, shout out to you, man. Guys, remember to check out the Centbee app on the stores. And remember just to get people subscribing, link them to the channel, man. This is the real BSV plug. So remember, just to comment, show some love. You know the drill by now, mobile money on fire. Yeah, Ms. G, I mean, we're talking about Kenya here, and we know, like, mobile usage in Kenya is, like, top-notch,
Mobile money,
Yeah, so I want to understand, like, in terms of Centbee, how was that received?
Yeah, well, of course, you're right. Most people there, 98% of people use M-Pesa. So M-Pesa is a mobile money wallet app run by, I think, Kenya's largest telco, Safaricom.
Safaricom.
And it started out where people would just be exchanging airtime credit, and now it's turned out to be a full-blown mobile money app. And so the question would be, how much opportunity does Centbee have? And I was talking to a lot of Kenyans who use M-Pesa, and I was surprised to find that people don't love M-Pesa. It's not that it's the best thing ever and they just don't have any complaints. It's really the only thing that they have. And so they often complain about the fees. Surprisingly, M-Pesa has quite high fees. 10, 20, 30 shillings per transaction.
Jeez.
And so that adds up. When people look over a year, you realize, gee, you've spent a heck of a lot of money on these M-Pesa fees. And so Centbee has such a wonderful opportunity. When I showed people Centbee there, they couldn't believe their eyes for not just the fees being different. I mean, the fees are literally 100 times cheaper.
Way cheaper.
On Centbee. And so that was mind-blowing for a lot of people. But of course, a lot of these mobile money products that are out there, and there are many mobile money wallets, they're all just kind of stuck in the past. They all look like bank apps or, this traditional finance stuff built by corporates. None of them are built for younger modern audiences. And Centbee, what we decided was we wanted to reimagine payments for a younger audience, people who are used to social networking apps and social media and want social elements, want to be able to communicate with their friends. And so Centbee, not only does it kill M-Pesa in terms of just the fees, and of course the cross-border nature of it. Remember, being a Bitcoin blockchain, BSV blockchain, it's inherently global. Which means that if you are remitting money around the world, and of course, a very important corridor is the Africa corridors.
Definitely.
So many people send money throughout Africa into the next country, or because Africans are working all over the place. So Centbee brings low fees. It brings the global aspect of it, and what was really interesting and exciting to people was that it is built around social networking and social connections. The ability to chat. And of course, all the products that we bundle into Centbee. So you don't have to go and cash out your money to be able to use it like you would have to, with another mobile money app. You can go and actually buy things immediately with Centbee. Yeah. And so being able to remit money either locally or internationally at, a hundredth of a shilling, which is, less than a tenth of a US cent. In fact, even more, a hundredth of a US cent. I mean, really, it doesn't add up at all. I mean, they can send as many transactions as they want to, as they normally do in a year, and it would cost, they could probably add it all up and it would be like 5 shillings for the entire year.
And it's instant.
And it's instant as well. So people loved Centbee. All the people that I showed at the conference, they were so excited about it. They saw the value in the low-cost payments. They could see how we were turning it around in this, making it social and bundling all these products into it, being able to actually send money to bank accounts and mobile money accounts in Africa. Centbee just has such a brilliant opportunity there in Kenya to take market share away from M-Pesa. It's not that people love M-Pesa and refuse to acknowledge anything else. There are no alternatives. And by using BSV blockchain, it means that we can bring extremely low-cost payments, but also with the assurance that it is a regulatory compliant blockchain. Of course, people are using Binance token and this and that, but none of those blockchains give them the sort of assurance that Centbee does in terms of being an accountable institution, being able to offer these low-cost services. And also people are used to crypto there, hey? Everybody's got a crypto wallet. They're all trading cryptos. So people are used to crypto. They're used to wallets. Everyone had a crypto wallet there. Of course, they have to deal with the fees, but nobody's using that crypto for anything, it's except to look at it and watch it go up and down in value. So for them to be able to see a wallet that was built on Bitcoin, had all these great features, was very user-friendly, and was there to activate their lifestyles, in terms of shopping and so on. This was a really wonderful place to take Centbee and get their feedback. And so I realized that Kenya is going to be such a wonderful opportunity for Centbee to grow and develop there. We did have a strong focus in Nigeria, but of course Nigeria there, the government is getting quite anxious around people trading cryptos and stuff. They don't know the difference between BSV blockchain and all this other crypto. So right now in Nigeria, it's getting more difficult to offer services there, BSV services. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to just wait and see how it turns out in Nigeria. But Kenya is absolutely going to become our focus over the next few weeks and few months. We think that there's a great opportunity for Centbee there. We've seen it, and people are very open to it as well. So it's very exciting right now for Kenya and Centbee.
Oh, that's cool, man. It's actually awesome to hear because, like we are saying, we're trying to also solve, like the world problems or Africa's problems of people not being activated, So that's awesome, Ms. G. Cool.
You feeling a little bit down there, bro?
Yeah, I don't know, all of a sudden, like I just got congested, like my eyes.
Do you want to try to shake it off a bit?
Yeah.
People like to see the happy Kage. They're going to feel sad if Kage's all miserable.
Why? Cool. Yeah, man, that's cool, Ms. G. I'm glad to hear at least like this awesome opportunity for Centbee. So yeah, guys in Kenya, just check out the Centbee app, man. We're coming with a bang, yo. So yeah, everyone else, just remember to check out the Centbee app on the stores. Remember to subscribe, comment, show some love, Mobile money on fire.
And if you guys are wondering about KG's vibes right now, he says he's just recovering from a bit of flu. So normally we have a nice, energetic KG here, keeping the vibe pumped. But we know that you're feeling a little low today.
Yeah, for some reason, man. But I'm good. I'm fresh.
Yeah, fresh, good.
Diff, yeah. I mean,
the work continues. Got a lot to do.
Straight up, Ms. G. Like I always say, man, we got to soldier on. So yeah, man, we're stepping into our questions and feedback for the week on socials. So our first one comes from eFlipper. He's saying, I agree with your view about having foundation that is strong, unchangeable, and comparing the blockchain to the internet protocol. To some point, I can see BSV low fees, big blocks, mining capability as the end game. That's why I hold some BSV. However, I don't bet only on this blockchain as what will be adopted in the future. It's still uncertain. I listen to you guys, Jack Lou, even Craig Wright, and what you all are saying about BSV is totally mind-blowing and gives a fresh view about the blockchain purpose and use cases. Unfortunately, to the possibilities of BSV, there is much more stuff happening on the other chains. To sum up, and this is the most important sentence from my side, I will be happy if there are multiple blockchains in the future, and I will also be happy if there is only one BSV. Good episode. It is a pleasure to listen to it. Also, a shout out for great thumbnails and a whole design quality. That's awesome, man. Mm-hmm. That was a spiel, but a shout out to eFlipper, man.
Thanks for that cool comment, eFlipper. So I think the points he raised there, or she raised there, was that it's uncertain around which blockchains are going to succeed. Maybe there will be multiple blockchains. I think this comment was in response to our one blockchain episode last week.
Definitely, yeah.
So that episode was all about how we believe there'll only be a single blockchain and the reasons we gave for that. Now, of course, it's true. There are multiple blockchains out there, and they are all trying different things. They're all scaling in different ways. They're creating different functions and all that sort of thing on these blockchains. And so the question is, who's going to win? Is one going to win, or will there be multiple? So if you want to understand why we believe there's only going to be a single blockchain, go and check episode 33. There can be only one blockchain. And you'll see why we think. But just to sum it up in a nutshell, the idea of having a fixed protocol, the one that Satoshi Nakamoto created, solved all the problems in terms of scaling and compliance. And of course, its Bitcoin script means that Bitcoin can be used for smart contracts. And more than that, Bitcoin is actually a Turing complete system. So for those techies out there, it means that you can use Bitcoin for general computing. And this is something you probably don't know about because of the general miseducation around Bitcoin. So we think that, and also given the scaling that's happening in BSV blockchain with Terranode, yes, it's true, we don't know the future, but it just seems more likely that there's going to be a single blockchain, if we look at the pattern of history and the internet, and that BSV blockchain being a fixed protocol with all the right ingredients and being able to demonstrate scale, it just seems more likely than not that BSV is going to succeed. So, eFlipper, we don't know. We appreciate that comment because you did raise some very important points there. And thanks, by the way, for complimenting Kage on his crazy thumbnails. All he does is make me pull faces and he does all this crazy stuff on it. So that's always fun. But absolutely, go check back episode 33 and you'll see why we think there's going to be a single blockchain.
Sure. Thanks, Rich G. Thanks, eFlipper. Our second one comes from the Water Society. They're saying, hello, my friends. Sure wish I could use my Centbee wallet to pay all my bills in the Philippines. Do you know how long it will take?
Yep. Now we are at the moment working to improve the catalog and build up the catalog in many countries, including the Philippines. The Philippines is one of our countries we love. There we have a lot of Filipinos using Centbee. Also, there's a strong BSV community down there. And of course, Filipinos remit money around the world, probably more than any other nation. The Philippines are using cross-border remittances. So for us, the Philippines is absolutely part of our roadmap. So just keep looking out for that. Check the store. We're going to try and make some announcements in the next few weeks to show that, to explain that we've got some more products available for Filipinos. So keep a lookout. Thanks for that comment.
And for Philippines, actually, there was quite a lot of options there to shop from.
We did. Right now, they're just temporarily disabled, but we're going to be reactivating that, yes. In fact, we even once had an integration into Gcash. But for regulatory reasons, we've had to suspend that. But those are the kinds of things that we're dealing with right now, working through the regulatory constraints and figuring out what it is that we need to do, what paperwork and what licenses we need. But once we get all that sorted out, then we hope to have a full integration into the payment system there in Philippines, as well as all our retailers available for you. So you can pay all your bills with Centbee. That's a goal for us.
Sure. Thanks, Ms. G. Thanks for the society. So just stay in the loop. Just always keep checking the store there. Maybe there will be some refreshed stuff there. So our third one comes from user chat. What cold wallet are you storing it on?
what cold wallet are you storing it on? I guess they are asking about BSV, and so a cold wallet, if you want to know what a cold wallet is, it's generally a wallet that's not linked to the internet. So sometimes people will print out a QR code and they'll have their private keys on a piece of paper, for example. Or they will have their private keys in one of those little flash disk, those hardware wallets.
Oh, yeah, I see those, yeah.
Yes. And the idea there is that you can have your keys there and your coins, but you don't have it connected to the internet and make it hot.
Yeah.
Because when something's connected to the internet, it means hackers can get in.
Yeah.
So Centbee is not a cold wallet because it's on your mobile phone and you can and that's connected to the internet. Although one of the things you can do with Centbee is you can generate a Centbee wallet. You write down your 12 words and your PIN, and then you can go and print your QR code and your address on your Centbee wallet, right? And now you've got the address. Then what you can do is you can reset that wallet. You just go to Centbee settings, you go to the reset wallet option, and you reset your wallet. What that does is it clears those private keys off your phone. Then you can go and put another wallet on that phone. But now you've got a QR code, which is an address. You can now send money to that QR code that's not on your phone anymore. It's now your keys have been written down, your phrase and your PIN, and you've got this QR code, and you can deposit money.
That's essentially a cold wallet.
And that's a cold wallet.
Yeah.
And if ever you want to spend that money, you can just go and reset your wallet on your phone again, your Centbee wallet. And then go and put in the 12-word phrase during the sign up.
And the 4-digit PIN,
And the 4-digit PIN. And then all that money that you've now been depositing into that cold wallet address will then be available for you to spend. And then you can go and spend it, do whatever you want, and then reset your wallet again. And then that essentially means that you've got a cold wallet using Centbee to be able to, make it hot when you need it.
That's even better because that means if you have a mobile phone and download the app, you can easily just recover your wallet versus having a flash drive specific, because I can easily steal it or lose that.
Yes, you can. Exactly. The best thing is, of course, write down your words, write down your PIN, multiple locations, and you'll never lose your money.
Straight up. Thanks for that, Ms. G. Thanks, user chat. Ms. G, I think we've come to the end of our show.
Okay, cool. Well, it was great to be able to talk about Kenya. We'll definitely put some video and some photos up of that event. And I want to shout out to all the Kenyans that I met there in Nairobi. It was a really cool time to be there and made lots of friends and really became inspired about Centbee there in Kenya. And I know that you guys gave me a lot of good positive vibe as well, so I appreciate that. And I'll definitely be there next year. Kage, you're going to have to come with. Since you're the best booth babe there is, right? And we'll bring some merch and do all that again.
Oh yeah, did you actually manage to give away some merch?
One or two, yeah.
At least, as long as you did.
Yes, I was hoping to be able to have competitions during my talk. When I asked the question, who knows what the Bitcoin protocol is, the original, nobody answered. I was wanting to give a shirt out, but nobody answered that question.
Snap. Better luck next time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now you guys who watch the show know exactly what the original Bitcoin protocol is. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, Kage. Thanks for a cool show. Thanks for all the discussions. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in today to the Centbee Show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please share it with your friends. Share it with family if they want to understand what Bitcoin is really about and to avoid the crypto nightmare and the crypto trap. This is the show you need to be watching to learn all about that. But with that being said, thanks, everybody, for joining us today on the Centbee Show. Please come back soon.